Okay, in our next interview with Ask an Archer, we're joined by Zack Djurica from Canada, from Nomadic Arts, based out in Canada. Zack is primarily a quiver maker, but he also has experience making arrows and other equipment as well, arrowheads, which we'll go into. So Zack, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Zack, for those that don't know about you, just tell us a little bit about your introduction into making quivers, leatherwork. How did you get involved with that, and what you're currently doing today as well?
Yeah, I believe it was 2004. I started. I was coaching Taekwondo, and one of my students, he was archer, and I asked him to help me out, and basically that led to I opened a small shop selling used archery gear on flea market.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing led to another. I was looking for Asiatic bows, and I couldn't find them nowhere in North America.
Mm.
So I bought my first bow from it's from Hungary. It wasn't a great bow, but I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't find the quivers that would suit that, and I first started making back quivers, and then turned towards heat quivers, and
Mm-hmm.
basically I started with quivers similar to Ottoman, Crimean Tatar, or
Right.
Persian quiver, and yeah.
Did you have to do a lot of research into in the quivers that you make? Are they historically correct, or you just put in whatever inspires you, or you try to keep it historically correct?
Some of the quivers I make them historically correct, except I use modern thread.
Right.
It's more durable, and nobody gonna sell it as a fake antique.
Sure.
So I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. So just a question. So you use modern thread. Traditionally, what thread would they have used? Do you know?
They would use cotton, hemp, or silk thread.
Ah, okay, right. Okay.
Yes. The problem with the silk thread is that decomposes, and some quivers is completely gone.
Mm.
I don't know how they still hold together.
Mm.
But
silk is meant to be very strong, right?
yes.
Right. Okay.
But also it doesn't last forever.
Yeah,
it decomposes, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
The historically accurate, my Manchu fittings, they're copies from Imperial Guards quivers.
Yeah. Right.
Some other fittings I commissioned the craftsmen all over the world, and the good artisans are not cheap, and I don't like talking people down with the prices.
Sure.
So whatever they say it costs. If I can afford it,
right,
then I do so. If I can't, then I said maybe next time.
Sure. So who do you like? What type of countries have you worked with or spoken with? Craftsmen from?
Mostly some here in Canada, some in US, China, India, Pakistan, all over Europe, Eastern Europe as well, Russia.
Yeah.
It's a really world effort.
Yeah, yeah. And are there many traditional quiver makers around today? Is it on the increase or is it decreasing?
It is on increase, but lots of people trying to cut the corners, to make them cheaper and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is.
But in time, I'm sure everybody gonna bring their level up,
sure,
which is pretty much normal.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just looking through your website. It's you have a beautiful range of quivers. You know, Manchu, King Dynasty, Chinese, Turkish. You know, some with many different types of leathers. You know, this one is like a Hungarian style one, I guess.
This is Mongolian.
Mongolian. Okay.
Made to measurements of one of the cave burials.
Wow,
So
awesome.
Yes.
So as well as quiver work, you know, you know how to work with leather. Did you have to train yourself in this, or did you have previous experience with threading and you know, knowing what tools to use and things like that, or did you have to teach yourself?
Not a clue. I have to basically
right.
I have to basically start from the scratch, and
Wow.
there was nobody to tell me, because most of the people, they do Western type of stitching, lacing, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But eventually, I learned how to use different tools, and
yeah.
At first it's awkward, but then later on it's much easier to work with the proper tools.
Sure. Now, you said there's an interesting story with your Iron Maiden T-shirt. Just tell us about that.
Oh yeah, this T-shirt I bought. It was in 2005. I already had the store on the flea market, so I can remember when did I open store without going to the papers. I'm really bad with that.
Yeah. And yes, as well as quivers, have you experimented with things like, you know, I don't know, saddle making or things like that? Other types of equipment?
I got from time to time I get into belt bags or pouches, and but not too many people are interested in that kind of stuff.
Right.
I recently got myself interested into Tibetan belt pouches.
Right.
They're very complex, and they're a piece of art on its own.
Yeah.
But not the saddles and stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
Maybe in future.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. In terms of the what types of leather do you work with, and for you, which leather is easiest or the best to work with?
Each type of leather has its purpose. I go from rawhide to exotic leather and to stingray leather, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Most commonly is vegetable tanned cow leather.
Right.
And it is very pliable, nice to work with, and you can dye it, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
The kangaroo I use for tubing, for edges.
Oh, kangaroo.
And it's a very durable, beautiful leather to work. It's expensive, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I
also,
saw one of your quivers was a buffalo hide or something.
Yes, bison.
Bison, yeah. Is that very tough leather?
Yes, it's very tough, very durable. Looks beautiful, feels beautiful.
Definitely, yeah.
Also, fairly expensive, but some people don't mind to pay extra for nicer stuff.
Sure. And currently, I guess you've sold to people all over the world. Where is your main customer base?
Pretty much. I have lots of customers in California due to a lot of Chinese descendants live there, and quite a few people buy from there. Right now, I have a couple of sets for customers in US, Taiwan. I have to check, I believe, Europe as well. And it's Indonesia as well.
Mm.
It's very interesting. Each customer is unique, and people ask for different things.
Yeah,
If
sure.
I deal with the customers who I expect to be Muslim, I ask him about religion and which leather should I use.
Right.
So that's another thing that we learn in a trade.
Yes. As you probably know, for Muslims, we cannot use pig,
Yes.
pig skin and things like that. So cow, anything that is not an animal that preys on other animals, or like pig or dog or anything like that, we cannot use. But otherwise, it's most animals are fine. Their leather is fine. Tell us also about your arrowheads. You make arrowheads, or?
No, I import them. I have a couple of suppliers that
Great.
We work together, and idea behind Arrowhead was I couldn't find what I really like.
Yeah.
And then I decided, okay, if I can get it off the shelves, I can get the craftsmen to make them for me. And then some craftsmen, they have their own stock, and I pick from there.
Right.
Some of them I ask them what to make, and I supply them with the drawings and the weights and stuff like that. And
they're very
good for all of us.
Very nice, yeah. And obviously with the arrowheads, then you also make arrows, of course, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I primarily make Manchu arrows or bamboo arrows, like Japanese or Chinese or Korean. And there's always never-ending research.
Yeah, of course. There's always something new. And what were you doing before you got into quiver making? What was your job or your work before that?
I'm educated to be machinist.
Right.
So I was working as a tool and die maker. Then when the industry got slow, I got into construction, sign making, hundreds and hundreds of jobs.
Yeah, but you have knowledge of tools and making tools and working with tools then, yeah?
Yes, I'm a craftsman. All my
Right.
life I work with the hands.
Right, excellent. That obviously is very helpful. And you also sell your arrows worldwide as well, yeah?
Yes. It depends on the customers. Sometimes people who buy a Quiver and stuff like that, they ask for thumb ring cases, and
Have you done any work for like films, movies, or anything like that? Have you supplied them with quivers or equipment?
No, I never got lucky, but I did some for History Channel, and pretty much edited the way I don't like. I wasn't best pleased about it, and I don't do much of that.
Right. But this keeps you busy. This is your full-time work now, right?
Yes.
Excellent. We're just going to move to your Instagram page, and so people can see your address. So it's Nomadic Art Archery. So people should try and follow him on Instagram if they can. He has a very good page. A lot of good images of the equipment that he has. Just loading up. Okay, so you recently posted this one with these arrows. These are just fantastic, really beautiful arrows. Just tell us a bit about these ones.
The one with the stingray, the one in the middle. I'm still teaching myself how to work with it, because not too many people know how to do it, or they don't want to share. And so now I'm getting into processing and preparing stingray for arrows, because you have to be really thin.
So this is stingray Skin.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, amazing. Wow.
And it's about 0.2 millimeters thick.
Wow, so thin. Can it tear very easily? It'll come apart easily?
No. Once it's done properly, it's very tough.
Right, interesting. Okay. What about these other arrows? What are these covered
That's
in?
a cherry bark.
Right.
Cherry bark was commonly used in Japan, Korea, China. Also, Ottoman arrows has lots of cherry bark.
Cherry bark is waterproof, right? As well, is it waterproof?
I'm not sure, but I seal everything with the mineral oils, so it should be very hard and durable.
Right. And this one here also cherry bark.
Yes.
Right.
And the last one has only brass ring.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. They're very, very nice. Let's see what. So this is the actual cherry bark.
Yes.
What it looks like, and then you just slice it into slices, right?
Yes. First, you have to scrape it. You have to make it very thin.
Yeah.
And almost transparent.
Really.
And then cut it into strips. I soak it up in the water prior to application.
Yeah.
So it works a bit better.
Yeah.
That's.
This is a very interesting arrowhead. This is the tang on this is like, I don't know, 19 or 20 centimeters.
There's 20 something centimeters.
Wow, so
it's
long.
Japanese. Yes. It's Japanese, and that's the way to do it traditionally. So I always discuss those matters with the people who are in Kyudo, who know more than I do.
I've heard different reasons for this type of arrowhead. Some people say it's for cutting rope. Some people say it's for shooting into the neck, for example. Here, what do you know about this type of arrowhead?
It could be for all about. I really don't know, but most likely it was used for bird hunting.
Ah, yes, bird hunting as well. Yeah, I've heard that one. Yes. Yeah. Because then it will shock the bird and also pin the bird down.
Yes, it wouldn't go through.
Yes, that's right. And this is antiquing arrowheads. Antiquing.
I use oxidizer to on the brass and bronze that I work on the quivers, because some people want to have that antique look.
Ah, okay. So you're trying to make it look old.
Yes.
I see. Right. Understand.
Because the problem with the quivers is if I make it so nice and shiny and beautiful, people love it, but never take it to the field.
Yeah, it's because
they don't want to scratch it.
Too good. Yeah, they don't want to damage it. Yeah.
So I got a couple of guys that they ordered the quiver that looks so beaten up and old.
Yeah.
It looks like they have it for years.
Yeah. So it looks more used, doesn't it? This is a lovely picture with so many different arrowheads here.
Yes, somebody asked me, can I have one of each? And yeah, sure.
Wow.
Then like, oh, I did not this. I have this many.
Right. This big one here. What is this for?
That's a Manchu. It's,
Manchu. Wow.
Yeah, to shoot horses or make really bad wounds.
And this was a whistling arrow. This one, whistling.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I'm importing those from China.
Right.
So it is kind of popular, but there's it takes some skill to mount it on the arrows.
Yeah, I'm sure. So when you're connecting the arrowheads, is it obviously you have the long tang which goes into the shaft, but is there any time that you try to screw it in and tighten it, which is more of like a modern method, or is it always
no.
inserting with glue?
It's always glue, and I don't use crazy glue or anything like that. I use only natural materials.
So what type of glue do you use then? Where's it from?
I use it's a fish glue.
Fish glue. Right.
Violin makers glue. It's
Hmm.
ready to use, and it's a byproduct of fishing in North Atlantic.
So is it quite easily available? Is there a lot of fish glue
Yes.
around? You can buy it easily. Yeah?
There's a couple of stores that supply Craftsman, and you can buy it off shelf.
Yeah. So this is a lovely image here of a brass collar which you've attached onto a shaft. It looks like a bamboo shaft, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I use bamboo or poplar.
how difficult is it to make everything flush and straight?
It takes patience, but it's not that difficult if you do a couple of times. So
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. It looks
just
so
a matter of practice
nice.
and
Yeah,
having right tools.
yeah. Again, these are some big Manchu ones and whistling heads.
Yeah.
Um,
There's also I do instructional videos on YouTube. So
yes, and we should actually let me just go to that actually.
I prefer to share instead of there are some people that clinging to their craft. There's not much secrets. It's just a lot of work.
Sure, sure. Yeah, this is the way that we like you say. This is the way we learn, is to try and share information, share knowledge.
Yes.
But unfortunately, some people want to keep it for themselves. But this is not the tradition.
That's how it is. But I don't mind sharing. I think it's a good thing. It's a positive. We all claim to promote archery, but we kind of cling to our own stuff. So
sure.
now, if I want to promote the art of archery, I have to share a lot of things, not only look what I made and can you buy it now?
Yeah, sure. Just while that is loading up, we're just going to look through a couple of more images. So again, that's the same Karimata. So
yeah.
This is shipping out. Also, some more arrowheads.
Yeah, I tend to post lots of arrowheads.
Yeah, no, it's very, very nice, very nice. When you polish them, what do you use to get the finish?
I have basically almost well supplied jewelry shop, and I have buffing wheels, and I have machines for that.
Yeah. Right.
So that's a very old quiver. That's from, I believe, 5th century.
Wow. Where was this? Obviously Mongolian quiver, but how do you own this, or this is just a picture?
No, it's just a picture that grave looters. They were caught, and it was big news.
Right.
But we're gonna write article to Journal of Archers Antiquaries. So my part of article gonna be about this specific quiver.
Excellent.
So I was really excited about that.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, this was the filming for the History Channel.
Yeah. And
okay, lovely Chinese, simple Chinese quiver. How many arrows can you fit in here? So here we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can you fit more in there, or 9 is the maximum?
That's what I have sitting around. And
which type of quiver can hold the most arrows?
That really Manchu arrows are fairly big and thick.
Right.
The Ottoman quivers can carry up to 30 arrows, I believe.
Wow,
I never got enough arrows, so a couple of years ago I make myself fake arrows, because sometimes people ask to buy them, and I got nothing to put in a quiver to take a picture.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
So I make the arrows that they look like an arrows, but they're just sticks with the feathers on them.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah. Let's just see the. So this is the YouTube site Nomadic Art Archery, so people can follow him here as well. Some very good videos. Splitting birch bark, feather stripping. Manchu arrows, separating feathers from the quill, reinforcing self-nocks. So some
Yes.
very, very useful useful stuff here. A lot of good Manchu arrow making, finishing the edge on the quivers. So, and obviously you have a nice little workshop. So I think for the part 2 interview, what we're going to do is we'll maybe do it from your workshop. You can show us some of the tools that you're using. And if you're working on anything at the moment, it would be nice to see something in progress.
Yes, definitely.
And any examples of different quivers, the things you have. I think you showed me last time you have a wall with different quivers. Maybe we can go through some of those quivers as well.
Yes.
One last question: have you also tried working with thumb rings?
I did, but since I got into jewelry, I prefer to do everything in bronze. And right now, market is oversaturated with thumb rings.
Yes, it is. That's right.
It's very popular in Indonesia and China, and there's lots of young people who they're like so eager to learn and promote, and we have to also support them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think what you're doing is a little bit more specialized and niche. You know, nowadays there's so many new bow makers coming out and thumb ring makers, but quiver makers is still quite a small group of people. Who do you recognize, you know, worldwide as other good, respectable quiver makers, or which countries have good makers?
There's quite a few guys in Poland. There's his last name is Sofiev. He's in Russian Federation. He does really, really good stuff. There's lots of guys in Turkey, but I noticed that their quivers are not well balanced and things like that. In China, there's, I believe, one guy who makes similar quivers to mine, but there are not that many people who does the quivers, because it's very demanding, and you have to accumulate lots of tools, materials, contacts.
Sure.
And to make them into the level that I do.
Yep.
But in time, I'm sure they will. In Romania or Bulgaria, there's quite a few guys. Every time when I make something, they make identical. All
really?
mistakes that I do, they copy it as well. But it's okay. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is how it is. Like with anything, there will always be people who will try to copycat and do it. But at the end of the day, I think the difference comes in the quality and the feel and the real craftsmanship of the finishing. You know, from afar, things can look identical, but when you look up close and you actually use the item, then you can see the difference.
Yes, but most of the people, they first check the price and then
true.
Yeah. then they talk.
Yeah. That's I think that's just how we are as humans. We want to always save money, but you know, with these things, with knowledge like this, we have to try to invest in these items for ourselves and for future generations. So you know, some of the things that you're making, or some of these boyas that are making, should really be, you know, like heirlooms, you know, and they should be passed on to our kids or to other people, so that they can see how you know, the high level of craftsmanship that is there. So so it's very good that you're doing that.
That's a point of my videos. It's pretty much, I don't mind sharing, and it's I don't know how to put it. There was quite a few guys that they asked me, can you teach me? And yeah, sure, no problem. But then a couple of months later, they would they figure out there's not too much money in it.
Okay.
And,
okay. Yeah.
So they kind of give up.
Yeah.
friend from Taiwan. He started making proper Manchu fittings and all of that. And after first quiver, he said it's easier to make a bow than proper quiver.
Wow.
So
really?
he gave up.
Wow.
And he makes bows.
I see.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think you either have to be dedicated to one or the other. Either you're making a high-level bow or your high-level quiver. It's very difficult to make both.
Yes, it's there's lots of dedication to it.
Yeah, yeah, different skills, but no, excellent. I appreciate you giving us your time and showing us a little bit about your work. So what we'll do in the next time we meet, we'll be in your workshop and we'll have a look at some of the tools and the things that you're making, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about, you know, like the glue. What does the glue look like? Silk, the threads that you use, the feathers. You know, whatever you have there, we'll have a look in there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. All right, Zach. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. We'll make a time for part 2 very soon.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.